Christine Brown had always been the heart of the Brown family. For over 2 decades, she had navigated the complexities of a plural marriage, balancing her role as a mother, wife, and spiritual partner. Yet, beneath her warm smile and unwavering support, a storm had been brewing. The tipping point came when Christine realized that her daughter, Truly, was not legally recognized as Cody's child. Despite their years together, Cody's name was absent from Truly's birth certificate. This oversight, coupled with Cody's increasing neglect and favoritism towards Robyn, left Christine feeling betrayed and marginalized. Determined to protect her daughter and seek justice, Christine took a bold step. She filed a lawsuit against Cody, demanding a declaration of paternity, child support, and custody arrangements for Truly. The legal battle that ensued would not only challenge Cody's authority, but also unravel the hidden truths of the Brown family's dynamics. Chapter 2. The legal battle unfolds. The courtroom became the arena where years of pent-up frustrations and secrets came to light. Christine's legal team presented compelling evidence, highlighting Cody's financial irresponsibility, emotional neglect, and the manipulation of family assets. They argued that Cody had used his position to control and exploit the family, leaving Christine and her children to bear the consequences. Cody, on the other hand, attempted to downplay his actions, portraying himself as a misunderstood patriarch. However, his attempts to manipulate the legal proceedings backfired. The court ordered a paternity test, which Cody reluctantly agreed to, and a domestic relations injunction was put in place to prevent further harassment and ensure Truly's well-being. As the case progressed, it became evident that Cody's facade was crumbling. The once dominant figure in the family was now on the defensive, his past actions under intense scrutiny. Chapter 3. The Fallout. The aftermath of the lawsuit was swift and far-reaching. Cody's relationships with his other wives deteriorated further. Janelle and Mary, who had already distanced themselves from him, found their own voices, challenging his authority and seeking their own paths to healing. Robyn, who had once been Cody's closest ally, faced public backlash as her involvement in the family's financial dealings came under examination. The once unified front of the Brown family had splintered, each member confronting their own truths and seeking justice in their own ways. Christine, however, emerged from the ordeal stronger and more resolute. She had reclaimed her voice and her power, setting a precedent for others who had been silenced and controlled. Her actions sparked a movement, encouraging others to stand up against manipulation and seek the justice they deserved. Chapter 4. A New Beginning. With a legal battle behind her, Christine focused on rebuilding her life. She moved to Utah, closer to her family, and began a new chapter with her fiancé, David Woolley. Together, they created a home filled with love, stability, and respect. Christine also dedicated herself to helping others who had experienced similar struggles. She became an advocate for those affected by high-demand relationships, offering support and resources to help them reclaim their lives. The Brown family's story, once a symbol of unconventional love, had transformed into a testament to resilience and empowerment. Christine's journey from a silenced wife to a powerful advocate inspired many, proving that even in the face of adversity, one could find the strength to rise and rebuild. Epilogue: The Legacy of Truth. Years later, Christine stood before a crowd at a women's empowerment conference, sharing her story. "I was once afraid to speak out," she admitted. "But I realized that silence only perpetuates the cycle of control. By sharing our truths, we break the chains that bind us." Her words resonated with many, sparking conversations about autonomy, respect, and the importance of standing up for oneself. Christine had not only changed her own life, but had also ignited a movement that encouraged others to seek truth and justice. As the conference concluded, Christine looked out at the audience, a sense of peace settling over her. She had fought for her family, her dignity, and her future. And in doing so, she had paved the way for others to spread like wildfire through social media. Christine's legal battle wasn't just a private matter anymore. It had become a national conversation about power, control, and spiritual coercion within polygamous families. Cody, once the charismatic patriarch of a famous reality TV family, now found himself publicly exposed. Court transcripts leaked to the press revealed shocking details. Cody had funneled money from a shared family account into a private fund used solely by him and Robyn. He had failed to make child support payments for several of his older children after they turned 18, despite still controlling family resources. Perhaps worst of all, in private texts revealed by Christine's legal team, Cody had written, "I never saw Christine as a real wife." That one sentence broke the internet. Fans and former fans alike erupted. Hashtags like hashtag Justice for Christine and hashtag Team Janelle trended for weeks. Chapter 6. Robyn's Breaking Point. Inside the Flagstaff home she once shared with Cody, Robyn sat alone. The walls, once covered with framed photos and inspirational quotes about eternal family, now felt cold and empty. She had stood by Cody through every controversy, but the courtroom evidence, especially the financial misconduct, made her question everything. One night, she opened a file folder Christine's attorney had submitted as evidence. It included documents Robyn had signed, unknowingly giving Cody power to liquidate a co-owned business Christine and Janelle had started years ago. Tears welled in her eyes. She wasn't just complicit. She had been a pawn too. Chapter 7. Christine confronts Cody. It wasn't enough for Christine to win in court. She needed closure. With the case settled and Cody ordered to pay overdue child support and release property rights on Coyote Pass, she requested a private mediation session. Just the two of them. No lawyers. No cameras. Just truth. Cody arrived late. "You wanted to say something," he said, arms folded, eyes narrowed. Christine stayed calm. "I spent half my life trying to please you. I lost myself in the name of spiritual unity, and all I ever wanted was respect." Cody scoffed. This whole court circus, it was about revenge. Christine leaned forward. "No, it was about protecting my daughter, reclaiming my future, and showing our children what strength looks like." Silence hung in the room. For once, Cody had nothing to say. Chapter 8. Reclaiming the Land. With Cody's legal claims dismissed, Christine, Janelle, and Mary were now free to decide the fate of Coyote Pass. The land, once a dream of communal harmony, had become a symbol of Cody's manipulation. But Christine had a new idea. They donated part of the land to a nonprofit that supported women leaving fundamentalist or high-demand relationships. The rest they planned to sell, splitting the earnings among the children. "We don't need the land," Janelle said, smiling. "We built something better, each other." Chapter 9. The documentary. Months later, a documentary crew approached Christine. Not a tabloid-style expose, but a real, in-depth investigation into the emotional, financial, and spiritual abuse that can exist inside polygamous systems. Christine agreed on one condition. The story had to center the women, not the man. The film, titled Beyond the Wives, aired on a major streaming platform. It featured interviews with not just Christine, Janelle, and Mary, but also former polygamous wives from across the country. It sparked national discussion, changes in legislation, and inspired countless women to speak out. Christine, once hidden in the background of a reality show, was now a public voice for reform. Chapter 10. full circle. A year after the trial, Christine stood in her backyard in Utah. Her fiancé, David, was grilling while Truly and her siblings played in the grass. Laughter filled the air, not the forced kind from a camera crew, but real joy. She received a text. It was from Robyn. "I watched the documentary. I didn't know how bad it was. I'm sorry for not standing up sooner. I hope you found peace." Christine stared at the screen for a moment, then typed back, "I have. I hope you do too." She turned her phone off, walked outside, and joined her family. The past was behind her. Painful, yes, but no longer defining her. Christine Brown had struck back, not out of revenge, but out of courage. And in doing so, she didn't just expose Cody's betrayals. The dust from the court case had barely settled when the media frenzy reignited. A well-known investigative podcast released a multi-part expose titled "The House of Brown: Secrets, Silence, and Sister Wives." It featured interviews with extended family, former church members, and even two of Cody's estranged siblings. They spoke about Cody's shift from sincere spiritual leader to ego-driven patriarch, the way Robyn's arrival sparked financial secrecy and favoritism, years of ignored complaints by the wives regarding financial and emotional neglect. Christine hadn't expected to hear some of the stories, especially about how Cody pressured his adult daughters into silence about dating in college because it threatened the family order. The backlash was immediate. Cody lost speaking engagements, brand deals, and any hope of reviving a reality show career. But Christine didn't gloat. She simply said, "It's not about destroying Cody. It's about ending the silence." Chapter 12. A Letter from Savannah. Janelle's youngest daughter, Savannah, had stayed quiet during the chaos. But one morning, Christine received a handwritten letter from her. "Dear Christine, I wanted to say thank you. Not just for being brave, but for showing us how to stand up for ourselves. When everything was falling apart, you showed me what strength looks like. You were the first person to make me believe we deserve better. I want to become a family therapist one day, because of you. Love, Savannah." Christine cried, not out of sadness, but out of knowing she had planted something powerful in the next generation. Chapter 13. Cody Alone. Cody moved into a rental condo on the outskirts of Flagstaff. No Robyn. No cameras. No family dinners. He still tried to regain control, posting cryptic videos online claiming he had been betrayed by a feminist agenda and misrepresented in court. But the comments flooded in. "We watched you ignore your kids for years." Christine protected her daughter. You protected your ego. "Sit down, Cody." Cody turned off comments, then turned off the account altogether. For the first time in decades, no one was listening. Chapter 14. Christine's Proposal. On a calm autumn evening, David took Christine to the same trail where they had their first real heart-to-heart. Surrounded by golden aspens and a sweeping mountain view, he got down on one knee. "Christine," he said, "you've been through fire and came out shining. I want to be the one who walks with you into peace." She laughed through tears. Yes, 1,000 times yes. They didn't plan a huge wedding. Just something intimate, with kids, close friends, and a lot of music. No cameras, no staged drama. Just real life. The one Christine had always deserved. Chapter 15. Sisterhood Renewed. The bond between Christine, Janelle, and Miri had changed. They no longer saw themselves as co-wives. They were survivors, partners in healing, and true friends. They held an annual weekend retreat, not to dwell on the past, but to celebrate growth. They invited other women from high-demand groups, offered workshops on boundary setting, financial freedom, and redefining womanhood. They called it Rise Beyond. And it grew. Every year. Final chapter. Legacy. Years later, Christine published a memoir, Unseen No More, My Life Beyond Sister Wives. It became a bestseller. In interviews, she no longer spoke about escaping polygamy. She spoke about reclaiming identity, challenging quiet control, and the journey from silence to voice. A young woman once asked her, "If you could go back in time, would you do it all again?" Christine paused. "I would," she said softly, "because I needed to become the woman who could walk away, so I could teach my daughters never to settle."